On July 22nd and July 25th, I got to experience America's Roller Coaster Cedar Point for the first time. This trip was fantastic as the park itself was excellent and I overall had a blast, during which I rode 14 of the 16 operating coasters at the park, the only exemptions being the kiddie coasters, Wilderness Run, and Woodstock Express. Also, Top Thrill 2, but, like, you knew that. So anyways, here's my unfiltered ranking of all of Cedar Point's roller coasters. At number 14, we have Cedar Creek Mine Ride, the park's aerodynamics mine train coaster. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this ride fucking sucks. It's rough, jerky, boring, and the trains are uncomfortable. Now maybe I enjoyed it less because I had to wait a half hour for it in the rain because it was on one train. Because, well, of course it was. And there was no fast lane option, which I did use for all the eligible coasters. But this ride just sucks and is the worst mine train I've ridden. This is coming from someone who grew up riding Canyon Blaster or Great Escape. Number 13 is Corkscrew, a custom aero loop screw. I feel like this ride is hated on more than it deserves. Don't get me wrong, it still sucks, but it isn't that bad. Maybe it's just because I could avoid the headwing since my head was above the over-the-shoulder restraints. I don't know. But yeah, this ride is definitely rough, but not as bad as people make it out to be. Alright, so number 12 is Iron Dragon, an aero suspended coaster. Are you seeing a pattern here? Aside from one of them, the arrows here kinda suck. Yeah, anyways. But I did find some enjoyment in this one, as the layout did surprise me at some parts, and the ride is enjoyable and scenic. It's not a thrilling ride by any means, but it's a decent family coaster. So at number 11, we have Rougarou, a B&M stand-up coaster that was recently converted into a floorless coaster. Listen, before you yell at me for putting Wild Mouse and Blue Streak above it, I just want to say that while the first half is solid with that incline loop, the back half is so bad, it drags the whole ride down. You just get slammed back and forth in this ride, which is made worse by the nasty rattle. Combine that with an uninteresting layout, and you have a coaster I would just rather not ride. Number 10 is Wild Mouse, a custom Zamperla twister coaster. I honestly had a blast on this. It's not crazy intense or anything. Honestly, I'd be concerned if it was. But the spinning cars provide a fun ride, and also, my mom's on-ride reaction was priceless, so that honestly boosts the ride for me a lot more. At number 9, we have Blue Streak, a PTC wooden coaster. This is a very short wooden coaster with some decent airtime. The main problem is that it is pretty rough. You get jackhammered most of the ride, which usually isn't that pleasant. It wasn't 2018 Predator or Darien Lake bad, but it still could be smoother. I think Comet at Great Escape is a perfect example of how this ride could ride if it was properly taken care of. Even though Comet barely has airtime, but that's besides the point. But yeah, Blue Streak's fine. Not my favorite, but still kind of fun as a classic wooden coaster. At number 8, we have Gatekeeper, the park's B&M wing coaster. Now, I'll be honest, I might have gotten a bad ride as I was in a row 5 outside seat, so not the best seating-wise. But this ride is a pretty noticeable rattle. It doesn't ruin the ride or anything. I still thought the first half was fun, but after the mid-course, it just does nothing. It pulls an Anaconda at King's Dominion and just forgets how to coaster. At least the first half has some great inversions, especially those keyholes.
Oh, yes.
God damn, those are really fun. But not as fun as number 7, Gemini, an aerodynamics hybrid coaster. Honestly, the main reason this is over Gatekeeper is the racing feature. On my visit, both sides were racing every time, which I really appreciated, and is the reason I was able to make Steel Vengeance my 100th credit. The interactions with the other train, especially if they're, like, you know, into it, are fantastic. My ride on the blue side had us high-fiving on the turnarounds, which was really fun. Overall, I prefer the red side since it's a little bit smoother, just wish those final helices weren't so rough. Which also applies to number 6, Magnum XL 200, an aero hypercoaster. This ride has a lot of extremes. It's extremely tall and fast, has extreme airtime, is extremely rough. Yeah, it's got a lot of extremes. Overall, this ride beat me up the entire ride, but it was so fun and the airtime was so powerful, it didn't really matter. This ride is one that hurts you in a good way. So given that it's fun but incredibly painful, I think 6 is a good spot for it. At number 5, we have Valraven, a B&M dive coaster. First off, the drop off the mid-course is my favorite part of the ride as you get some wild ejector in the back row. The first drop is also just fantastic, giving some solid airtime. The inversions are kinda whatever, but I think for my first impression of a dive coaster, it was pretty solid. But not as good as Number 4, Raptor, a B&M invert. This is the last of what I would consider the park's supporting coasters, and it's a damn good one. I got 2 rides in the back row, and let me tell you, this ride is intense. It has a crunchy 0G roll, whippy corkscrews, a solid first drop, and an intense helix finale. Overall, my favorite B&M invert. Oh yeah, also, it injured me when I was playing with my over-the-shoulder string by pinching my finger, because I was just a dumbass. So that's fun. Oh yeah, here's what the finger is looking like now, by the way. It's still kind of swollen, but it's not that bad. Yeah, so, you know, that's fun. Now we move on to the heavy hitters, starting off with number 3, Millennium Force, an Intamin Giga. Just, wow. First off, that first drop is one of the best ever. Honestly, it might be my favorite. The sense of speed is incredible. This ride is solid floater airtime and gives a killer night ride. I got a Ritsu night ride and it was nothing short of incredible. I do think it would benefit from another speed hill or something at the end, but this is easily in my top 10 overall coasters, but this isn't the best Intamin in the park. That honor belongs to number 2, Maverick, an Intamin Blitz coaster. This ride is just insane. You have the beyond vertical drop to start, which sends you flying in the back row. You have camelbacks, which give so much airtime they feel illegal. The second launch has so much punch to it, and overall it's a satisfying ride with great airtime, transitions, launches, and inversions. Only gripe is the restraints are a bit of a thigh crusher and do somewhat hurt, but you only really notice it when you're waiting forever on the final brake run. Which, yeah, on my first ride, it broke as we hit the final brake run. So I was stuck sitting on there with that giant brick-ass lap bar on my lap the entire time. But yeah, overall, it is a masterpiece and is my number 2 overall coaster and is only topped by number 1, Steel Vengeance, an RMC Hyper Hybrid. Wow, we totally didn't see this coming. It's not like I'm wearing a hoodie that I bought because I liked this ride so much. No, I would never. But yeah, this ride is literally perfect. It has a fantastic first drop in the back row, has a ton of ejector airtime, whippy and fun inversions, is really long, and is a full package ride for me. I think the best moments are the top hat and the outer bank, as well as the second to last wave turn in the ride structure. That wave turn gives incredible airtime, and overall this is my favorite coaster at Cedar Point, my favorite overall coaster. Also, on one of my rides I swallowed a bug.
What? What the fuck?
Overall, I really look forward to the day I can return here. Hopefully to ride Top Thrill 2 if it opens. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to drop your ranking in the comments, and I imagine if you made it this far, you probably liked the video. So why not like and subscribe? Because seeing support on this video will tell me y'all want more of this. But anyways, have a great day, and goodbye! Jesus fuck, that was so bad.